What's up? I'm Scott, and I was completely and totally wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. So, if we look at the graph here, this is the room correction that I've done with SoundID Reference. Now, for many, many years, many of you have asked me to try this. What do I think about it? And I always said, I don't really. What can it really do? I don't really. How does that work? How can you just add EQ to change everything. Well, I was completely wrong. And we're going to do a bit of Quentin Tarantino stuff here. I'm going to give you the conclusions first. And then on the back half of the video, you're actually going to see me and Wojtek here at Hertz Recording Studio going around the room here, doing the room measurements and going through the process because it is so easy to do. And the software really does work. I was completely wrong. I was proven wrong. And now I absolutely recommend this software. And because I liked it so much, I reached out to SoundID to get an NFR so that I could make this video for you. They have also sponsored the video, so it's a sponsored video. However, I reached out to them once I realized I was wrong, and this software is amazing and it works wonders. So let's talk about how I'm using it right now. And then there's Black Friday is going right now. So I want to let you know what I would recommend you to get if you're looking at this. So the way that SoundID Reference works, it can work in two ways. You can use it in a system-wide setting, which I do use, and then you can use it, for example, in your DAW. And for me, in Cubase, it's quite nice because I have this control room feature here where I can load the plugin in the control room feature, and basically I can export and bounce files and things like this, and I don't have to worry about turning it on or off and things like that. It just works in the control room. It's very easy to use, and I can indicate what I want to look at, what I want to see. It really doesn't matter. I put it in the control room. I put it at minus 12 dB, and the reason I do that is so that this is minus 12 dB, and then the the system-wide setting is also at minus 12 dB, so I have a consistent listening experience throughout. And now this is always on. I might do some A/Bing a little bit sometimes to try to get an idea of what a mix or something sounding like when it's more in the room. And the one thing that I really enjoy about this, if you come down here to linear phase, I put this in linear phase, which means that now my listening spot and what I'm listening to is completely in phase, and the low end just pops. Everything tightens. I can hear the low end perfectly. I can understand if it's muddy, not punchy enough. It just sucks it right up, makes everything sound so tight, and you can really diagnose low end, low mid problems like this. Also, it helps you understand if you have any problems with the guitars. For example, if the guitars are too wide or if you've done too much mid-side processing, when you put everything in phase and tighten everything up, if the guitars disappear, then you know you've pushed the guitars too far wide or you've done too much work, and you can address that. So I really enjoy this software now. It's always on, and I can't imagine not using it for real. Now, of course, when you see Wojtek and I doing the room measurement and things like this, we discuss certain things that we've done. Like we spent a lot of time trying to find already a good position for the speakers in the room. That's vitally important. And it makes the software work even better because it has to do less work. But the work that it does do is just like the last 10-15%, just to make sure your room is good to go and you're hearing correctly. Well, I completely love the software. I also have the headphones profile here as well, which I do use. Now, I've really found the headphone one interesting because if we look at the before, obviously it's a wired average. They've taken one or two headphones and they kind of try to they do an average, right? Now, I remember when I first tried these headphones and they get a lot of hate because people say that the mixes sound terrible. And what I discovered was that your mix is going to sound terrible if you have a serious low mid mud issue and problem. Then yeah, then the mix generally will sound really bad because everything is super muddy and there's no definition. It just sounds terrible. Well, come to find out that these speakers are relatively flat in the low mid range and the mids in general. Okay, obviously we have some coloration going on up here. They're headphones, but it really makes sense now that a lot of people complain that they don't like the Austrian Audio Hi-X 65s because the music sounds bad, and this is why. It's right here. But also, when you're mixing on these headphones, if you get the mids correct, the obviously the song opens up and everything sounds fantastic, which is why love to work on those headphones. And I worked pretty much exclusively on those headphones for a long time. Okay, so I found it really fascinating that the calibration process added some more low end, which I expected, but it really didn't touch the mids much at all. Okay, so I found that really fascinating. Okay, um, the other thing I guess I can talk to you about the here is you have virtual monitoring for headphones. So if you come down here to virtual monitoring, this is an extra plugin, but you can look at near fields, mid fields, and far fields. So you can kind of give yourself extra space or put yourself in space in a room to sort of get an idea of what it could sound like when you're sitting with near fields or mid fields or far field monitors. And you can listen to your music in different contexts, which is very important to do on headphones, and in speakers as well. But this extra bit of A/B ability, I think, makes mixing on headphones a little bit easier and more realistic. Now, I have to admit that basically since I've been in Hertz Recording Studio, I haven't touched my headphones. They're sitting right here. I don't use them. I don't use them on purpose because I want to get used to working in a room. I did try it out, the virtual mixing. It really is kind of fascinating, and really this profile does sound good with the headphones. It really does even things out a little bit, and it helps you hear things that you may not have heard before. All in the effort to try and get a better mix. And so I really can't say enough about the software. It actually works. I'm completely surprised. Wojtek was laughing at me because both him and Slawek were like, you have to, get a room correction software. You got to use Sonarworks, or you got to use this, or you got to use that. You got to do it so you can get the last 10% of your room dialed in. And I was like, come on, is that necessary? Yes, it's amazing. So with all that being said, let's look at the Black Friday prices. Once I tell you what I would recommend you to get, on the back side of the video, you're going to watch me and Wojtek do the room correction in here, going step by step. The software is just so easy to use. Everything is very easy. Once you go step by step and you see us do it, it's super super simple. So for my opinion, you should get the software. Just absolutely plan on getting the software. You absolutely should get it. Okay. So if you're just working on headphones, yes, get the software. I think this is a no-brainer price. But check this out. So it's 60 euro or whatever your currency is going to be. It's normally 100 euro, right? So I was just showing you the virtual monitoring thing. This is a plugin. It's an extra add-on plugin that you can get. So right now it's 60 euro just for the SoundID Reference headphones. It's great. But if you go down here to bundle deals with Black Friday, you can actually get the SoundID Reference headphones with the virtual monitoring add-on straight away for the same price of what it would normally be not on Black Friday. So I really have to admit that the deals here on Black Friday are very nice. And for what the software does, it's worth every single penny. I would buy this straight up full price. Now that I know what the software does, 100% can recommend it. And of course, the one that I use, the SoundID Reference for speakers and headphones, plus the virtual monitoring add-on, you can get that entire thing now on Black Friday for less than 200 euro. 100% absolutely worth it. Every single penny. Yes. And like I said, even though they sponsored the video, I reached out to them after already trying the software and being convinced by it. They didn't reach out to me. I reached out to them. I really want you guys to know that this software works and is amazing, and it will help you regardless of your situation. Definitely look at your needs. I think most of you guys are going to be in one of these two camps: the headphones with the virtual monitoring, or the headphones with the speakers, okay, with the virtual monitoring add-on. Now, I should point out that because I was in Hertz Studio, they already had the microphone necessary to do all of the room referencing and measurements. So you're going to need to get a microphone if you don't have that, but they have that right here. So SoundID Reference for speakers and headphones with the measurement microphone, 350 euro normally, it's 220 euro right now. It's a no-brainer. This, more than anything else, it doesn't matter what plugin you buy, I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. If you only have 250 bucks to spend on this Black Friday and you can't do anything else, please get this. This will help you more than anything else, okay? And I don't have the full list of the headphones, but I know there's like 500 headphones that work with SoundID Reference. I wonder if maybe if I can even find one. Add a new headphone profile. Look at this. All of these headphones are here. So let's say like what a popular one, ATH, Audio Technica. Look at that. I used to use the ATH N50Xs, and here you go. Here's a profile for that. What about Bear? Let's just look for Bear. Okay, Bear Dynamic are right here. So I'm assuming, yeah, look at that. The DT770s are right here. Just about every major headphone company that you may want to use are probably going to be here. Even JBL's here. Koss, Korg. What about AKG? I'm sure there's AKG. Yeah, AKG right here. Literally everything you need. Now, the cool thing you're going to notice here that it says for listening. They have modeled even headphones that aren't necessarily for mixing. When they say here for listening, they're already telling you like, yeah, you can use this profile, but these really aren't headphones for mixing. These are headphones really just for listening. So you can already know up front if your headphones are good to go for mixing work or not. And look how many, like, listen, not every pair of headphones have been modeled and not every pair are here, but probably your pair are. So if you're using headphones, I'm serious. Just get the SoundID reference for headphones, but get the virtual monitoring add-on here, okay? And if you have speakers and headphones and you want to do a room measurement, just get the microphone. This is the best thing you can do for Black Friday. If you only have $250, get this. It'll help you more than anything else. Because I'm sure you already have everything you need to get started for more proper mixing after you get this dialed in. For real. I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't even emphasize how wrong I was. So hence the title of the video, and hence me saying it over and over again, okay? All right, so basically that's all I have to say to you right now, face to face, about the software. I use it all the time. It's always on. I'm always going to have it. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. So what you're going to watch now is you're going to watch Wojtek and I going through the process of doing the room measurement. You're going to see step by step how to do it, and you're going to see just how incredibly simple it is. But what I want you to do is I want you to click the link below and just go ahead and get which one you need. If you just work on headphones, get the SoundID reference for headphones with the virtual monitoring add-on. Just do it. It's going to be some of the best money you've ever spent. And as you're downloading the software or you're putting your address in to get the microphone, you can go ahead and watch Wojtek and I do the room measurement so you can see how easy it is and to see how you should do it, okay? It's amazing, all right? Enjoy watching Wojtek and I do the room measurements. Again, click the link below before you do that and get the one that you need, and you're not going to regret it, okay? All right, guys, so we are going to do the calibration with the SoundID reference. You can see it on the screen. This is an ECM 8000 Behringer. I guess it doesn't matter because you have the calibration profile, so...
Actually, when you choose like the software, you need to pick up what kind of microphone you are using, calibration file.
Okay, so I've downloaded that. We'll actually do that. So looking on the screen, we just basically follow directions. We need to add a new output, so I'm going to use this, which are my left and right speakers.
Left, right.
You can confirm that is left and right. Okay.
Front left.
Yeah, front left, front right. From here we calibrate. Now we go to open measure, and now we're actually going through the wizard. And this is what it looks like. It's pretty simple, actually. We just basically follow the directions. Now we're going to set our speaker configuration, what we have. I like this that it actually points out, by the way, unique phantom power. Make sure everything is routed, that there's no feedback. And also that you can't be heard through the speakers. So actually you have to physically click every checkbox.
Yeah, and you know, just be sure that you don't break anything like CO speakers.
Yeah. So I think it's a really good idea. I'm sure that somebody didn't do this before.
Simply step by step, so you don't need actually like read the manual.
And then pretty much, so the way that I'm doing this so I don't get any feedback is I've just muted all of my outputs, guys. So that pretty much takes care of it. We can see here that I have 48 phantom power enabled, so we're good to go. And we just click next. Maybe I didn't click next. There we go. You want to do the honors? Nice. input detected. Give her old taparoo. So this is what Wojtek was talking about. So we don't actually have one of the, I can't see me. We don't have one of the SoundID reference microphones. So what we're going to do is we're going to select a different measurement microphone here. Click next. And then we need to load a calibration file, which we have here. And that's pretty much it. So we'll click next. And then again, we do more testing just to make sure everything's good to go.
Left speaker. Right speaker.
Okay. Now we have the listening position. Now what we did is I sat in my chair and I pretty much put the speakers where I wanted to have them and was like, okay, this is where I like to sit. We have the microphone stand specifically because this is ear level. So it's very important when doing this that the microphone is consistently pointing in between the center of the speakers at ear level because that's where you'll be mixing from generally. So we click next. It's going to run the algo. I really like that it says be careful every step of the way. Like turn it down, check your levels.
It's for me when I used it first time, that instruction was very important. Like because if you have like new software, like new stuff, and for me the most important is to avoid like I don't know feedbacks, to destroy stuff, you know.
Plus you're running it through the board.
Yeah, but it really doesn't matter. The most important, you know, not to like hurt yourself on your equipment.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do the volume is set. Again, same thing here. Pretty much gives you a checklist of what you need to do. Move shit out of the way. Basically everything I just said about the microphone. Keep the microphone blah blah blah. And then it doesn't let you just click next. You have to go through every single one. That's good. Let's begin. Cool. 1 to 2 centimeters from the center of the mid-range driver, so right where the guy is showing, just blink. You can't really see, maybe on that camera. So I'll come on this side actually. And here we go. See, he shows you the video there, so. And start measuring.
Stay where you are. Measurements in progress.
Now we review dimensions. We don't have a tape actually. We could get one if you want.
Actually, I checked before. It was pretty accurate.
So we will continue. So now we get the listening spot. This is going to start basically moving us around the room. Nice. Okay, next. Measure room response. Put the microphone in the indicated area. Okay. All right, start measurements.
Good.
We've done it. What do you think about that process overall? I mean, it's long. I mean, I think there's a lot of room for error. Like you saw me one time, I was like, shit, the microphone's like that. And I try to, but I think there's a lot of double points here and there where you're going in the same area multiple times.
Yeah, and I think it's like pretty accurate. I think 36 points.
Yeah, and just like you were saying when we were doing, I'm probably gonna montage that. But he was mentioning in the middle of when we were doing this, like he's like, it's all basically in your working circle.
Yeah, because you know, I believe I don't know how was it created, but mostly it's people do it because it's like between the speaker and response with your room, like table or whatever you put your speaker. So there is like standing waves, you know, reflections, the whole that stuff. And then face problems because of it. That's why like it measures like the points in that area that more or less you will listen and try to figure out the best calibration stuff. For me the best option is to find the sweet spot in your room to have less, how to say, equalization on it.
Right.
Then it will be, of course, sound better. If you, for example, I don't know, put just near the wall, yes, and on the table, like every surface adds a few dB of, of low end, and so first try to find the best position, and that's also very good tool for it.
So let's do this. This is the best result we've ever gotten in this room, actually.
Yeah, there is, there is a still, for example,
yeah.
speakers on the table.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this is right here. I should mention that there's a desk EQ on the Eve Audios, and I've removed a bunch of, I think it's like 160 hertz is where the EQ filter is, and I've dumped out, I think, 3 dB out of there from the speakers itself, because I'm very concerned about this range. Talk a little bit about the low end, actually. I know people are going to ask you this, like, why is it okay that we have a massive cancellation at 70 hertz?
I think I don't remember. I need to like measure that room, and there is standing wave which
Right.
comes like from like physics stuff. Like
Sure.
every wave has like frequency. It represents, you can everything calculated in
Right.
clean physics stuff. So I can explain technical like stuff. I know that it's standing waves, yes,
Right.
and they, for example, they can cancel. So
Right here, right?
yes, or they can, how to say, each other,
Yeah.
or they can be completely out of phase.
So the table is definitely causing reflections.
Yes.
That we can see here in the, what are these, low mids? Is that what you call them? And also, because the speakers aren't exactly set perfectly, there's a little bit of a delay. And millisecond delay and loudness difference. This is going to basically correct all that, including, most importantly, like what you were talking about, the phase.
I think for me, I would say, I don't know, but for me, the phase is really important stuff.
Yeah.
I can imagine, for example, listen with sub, like, or with the speaker that they are out of phase. Yeah. So phase is very, very important stuff.
So if you're doing this, guys, and you're going to do a couple of these, make sure you name and date them. I think dating them is very important. Because if you just go Studio B1, Studio B2, Studio B3, you won't really remember what it is. So we just save it like this. Super simple. Close it. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the main plugin here. There's the app that's system-wide. So YouTube, Tidal, or Spotify, whatever, you can run it all through SoundID. So you always have a consistent listening experience, which is very important. So we click Add Output there, and then we should be able to select our calibration profile. And as I was mentioning, it's important to name and date them, because this was the old one that I did last week. And I just happened to use the exact same name, but I don't know which one it was. So we'll click this. Okay. And I tend to bring this down to -12. I'm a little bit scared to have loud volumes when I'm so, and everything across the board is -12. Cubase, audio, YouTube, it's all at -12, so it's all consistent loudness, which I think is just as important. So this is our correction. If we go up here, we can see before. So the purple is before. So this is the correction that we did, and this is before. I don't hate what we had before. That's not the worst I've ever seen. Like, it was worse when the speakers were closer to the wall. It was way worse.
The right placement of the speakers, that's the clue, and then measure it again.
All right. And this is the one that's important to you, right? The phase. So if I turn off before. Feel and understand, like, oh, okay.
The most, I think, important stuff, the people don't believe it, You also didn't believe it
No.
at the beginning, you know, how it works, yeah?
Yeah.
Like suspicious, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
you know.
basically.
But it helps.
A lot. This really does work. Like I really, my mind has been changed. I've done it, and therefore I'm doing this video because I contacted them and I said I want to do a video. This actually does work. So for the
I don't. For me, it's like a normal.
Sure.
Because I'm using it like I tune the speakers for a very very long time.
Yeah.
So for me, like was one of the most basic stuff,
Okay.
like to really, you know, take care about my hearing system. Yeah. So for me, it's like so obvious, like there is a dog here. Yeah.
So, definitely. I still think though you need some modicum of room treatment, and you need to spend some time moving the speakers back and forth to find a spot. But the worst case scenario, it'll help, even if you have neither of those. Like if you're in a broom closet or something.
Yeah, that's for sure will help you, even
Okay.
if you don't want to like move your speakers.
Yeah.
I recommend to move them to check, but it in any case it will
Okay.
help you.
So that's the process of doing a room calibration. Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching Wojtek and I run around with the microphone here in the room. Once again, I hope you already clicked the link. I hope you already picked up what you needed, but I'm one last time here at the end of the video. Seriously, this is one of the best things you can ever do for your mixing career. If you're at all serious, at all even a little bit, about trying to get good mixes and do good work, you need this. This is an absolute necessity to doing a good job. Wojtek has told me many stories. I don't know if I'm at liberty to discuss them about other professionals that he's discussed things with where they're using this software. They're just like, wow, it almost does, like they spent tens of thousands of dollars on room treatment, but the software still helped them. Yeah, invest in yourself. Definitely get the one that you need that'll help you in the spot that you're currently in. There are upgrade bundles too, like if you already have the software that you can upgrade to certain other levels that you may need. So definitely go to the page. This link is down below in the description. Pick up the one you need, and this is going to be the single biggest upgrade to your mixing experience. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.